Three, two, one. Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. All right, so guys, I wanted to actually talk about a very legendary microphone. I wanted to do a microphone review. I love doing these little microphone reviews about the Sphere microphone because it's such a great microphone. It's so deep, and I think it's just noteworthy of talking about each and every emulation. And also conveniently, I get to talk about these microphones that I love, get to talk about some of the artists that use it. So if you guys do enjoy using this, if you guys do enjoy viewing this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop it down below, and let me know some more video suggestions that you guys might have. I can't even talk this morning. I just woke up, literally. I'm already grinding. All right, so let's look at this microphone. You have something like the the Telefunken 251. This is a very, very, very legendary microphone. Now, a couple of the artists that have been using this microphone are listed here. You got the Kanye West of the world, Billie Eilish, Mac Miller, R.I.P., man. I love listening to Mac Miller when I was sitting on that bus in middle school. Ariana Grande, Michael Jackson, some of these great and talented artists. The thing about these artists is not the microphone that made them sound good. They were already talented, but the microphone actually helped them make it sound better. So I want to ask you guys down below, have you ever used this microphone, the 251E? Because when I look at it online for retail, that bit is like a very rare microphone. It costs like $10,000. Very, very expensive microphone. But apparently it gives a unique sound, a one-of-a-kind sound, is what they always say, very warm, very rich, very tube type of sound. And the tube is kind of like the driving force in something like a microphone like this, like the Telefunken 251. Somebody like Frank Sinatra, when they're singing, ah, or Michael Jackson, like, oh, he's singing those very, very high notes. Something like a tube is a very, very good component because it can smooth off that top end. So maybe sometimes you might want to, use a sometimes you might want to use a tube saturation plugin or something like that to get the same type of effect. I actually have a video where I talked about Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow is another rapper that likes to use this type of microphone, and you should watch this video because I explained how, like, the whole mindset of if you don't have that microphone, how to, turn your microphone into another microphone, but not with the plugin or with the microphone like this, but actually doing it through skill, actually really understanding the frequency response of a microphone, right? As well as how you can imitate that, how you can bring some of those characteristics in shaping a vocal to be similar to like a $10,000 microphone, but you will need to have $10,000 worth of effort and passion and love for the game. So you guys should check out that video, my Jack Harlow video. You will learn a lot. I pull out a frequency analyzer and I looked at, okay, this is what I got so far, but how can I get it to sound into something like this, which is the end goal, how can I get it to understand that, there is a little activity in the low mid for something like a 251, but there is also a little bump in that top end. That 10K gives a lot of breathiness, helps you hear the transitions and the nuances of somebody's vocals. So, okay, cool. Now, when it comes to something like the Sphere emulation, I think the Sphere is absolutely incredible for a couple reasons. The reason why is it don't cost $10,000. It only costs $1,000. And if you're one of those type of people who you always trying to switch out, you're trying to always improve, maybe you get something like the Sphere because you have access to not only the 251 sound, but also other couple different things like a C800, a U87, a couple different versions of it. The beautiful thing about something like this 251 is you also get to do different Polaroid patterns. Maybe back in the day, you seen that picture I showed you only had three. It had the cardioid, which is in front of you, had the omnidirectional. People like to use something like this for room mics as well, overhead microphones for the drum kit, and you also had the figure 8. But then you get all these other different types of Polaroid patterns, everything in between, which is really, really good. That's a great reason why to get a microphone like this, okay? So when it comes to using something like the 251, I'm actually talking into it, but the Sphere microphone gives you an advantage because you get to actually blend in. You get to actually blend in, this type of microphone with another one. So let's say you tracking on the way in, or you record with the direct version, right? And now you playing with it inside of your DAW, your DAW session, right? Now you can blend in a microphone like the C800, which will give you the brightness, So if I just do it like this, it kind of, you can kind of hear my voice just sounds too throwback. It sounds too old school, you know, like it's good, but for rap music, you want a little bit of fidelity. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to blend the C800 to taste, you know, I like to blend in the C800, or sometimes I might go the other way around, mostly C800, but then bringing in a little bit of that 251 to smoothen things out. Now look at me, I'm better than my favorite artist, because now I got my own swag, now I got my own style, now I don't got to worry about Drake and be like, oh, well, Drake is using that, so I guess I have to use that. You got to understand, when you making music in the beginning, you actually have an advantage. When you don't know nothing, you have an advantage. You have the opportunity of making a sound that nobody ever thought about. When you know the rules, you know the rules. You know, but it's kind of like a little kid, a little baby. You know, back in the days when they made chocolate chip cookies, that shit was made on accident. You know, they didn't intend to do that. So sometimes when you don't know everything about making music, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't gotta be like, oh, I need to sound exactly like Drake, let me use the same settings. And now, because you're forfeiting your advantage that you have, you're forfeiting that advantage, which is possibly creating something new. So at that point, you don't know the information and you forfeited your advantage, and now you starting out making music and you're down bad, low key. You know, because if you don't know nothing about making music, you have the advantage of figuring out a new combination between the C800 and the 251. Nobody ever thought, yeah, you hear, that's my sound. Yeah, that fits. That's my sound. These are my custom kicks that look good on my feet. You know, like, don't relish that opportunity. Don't throw that opportunity away by being like, oh, well, Drake uses the Neve into the C800. Well, JC Joshua, oh my God, he uses the God particle. Oh my, now I got it like JC. Oh, I'm JC Joshua now. Nah, bruh. You got to understand that them niggas already made it. They already made it. They already made it, bruh. They already made it. You trying to make it too. You trying to knock them off. But the only way you can take attention away from your favorite artist is by bringing something new into the game, which is not hard. As long as you make music, you love making music, and you do it for the right reasons, and you put your personality into this shit, you gonna stumble upon something brand new. Trust me. You're gonna stumble upon your own swag. Trust me. But if you're trying to be like the next person, you ain't never gonna stumble upon it. You just never. So that's the cool thing about the UAD sphere. It gives you the opportunity to make a healthy mistake. Oops, look. Oh, man. How you got it sounding like that, fam? It's so smooth and so bright. Oh, well, because, you know, I blended in that C800 with that 251. Yeah, that's all me. Now people want to come work with you because now you got a sound they can't get from anybody else. You got to think about it like that now. But the cool thing about this is that you get to choose the different mics, you know. You get to choose, like, you know, my voice should be changing right now, but you get to choose, like, let's say you want to do a little bit of presence and a little bit of smoothness, if that fits your voice, you know, just really custom tailoring some shit to your voice, my nigga, is what I'm trying to say, right? You can get a little bit of that presence, but then a little bit of that creaminess. You can get the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about this. Or like, if you get in a little bit too much presence, a little too pokey, then you blend in a little bit of that 251. And that's the beautiful thing about the Telefunken. I like to use it as a tool more than anything. I've never really recorded with it on direct insert, but maybe if I had somebody who had a really, really bright voice like this and it really started to feel piercing, I probably would use something like a 251 to balance it out. So that's another great way you can use something like a 251 or a microphone selection. Picking the right microphone can counterbalance some of the problems that somebody might have in their voice. It makes it easier for you to work by the time you get into the DAW. But the sphere is easy because it's right in front of you right then and there. Next really cool thing about the 251 and, you know, the beautifulness of a gorgeous tool mic like this, with the sphere microphone, you get a couple different selections. You spending $10,000 on a mic, but you only getting that one mic that only has one sound, versus where the sphere, now you buy you a little expansion pack, and now look at you. You got the 251 and you got the 251A. You got the E and the A, and of course, you know, it shows you right here that, you know, the different variations between the two, gives you a beautiful little description. So I'm not trying to promote this microphone. Unfortunately, UAD never hit me up, not yet. But, you know, I still love UAD's products because some people like Slate mic, some people like those auto-tune mic plugin, which is a good one if you don't have this microphone, the auto-tune mic plugin. I'm going to do a video if you guys want to see it, drop it down below, comparing the sphere between the auto-tune mic modeling plugin. But this is very good situation because, you know, you get to pick those different variations, like one click, boom. Oh, I want 250? Nah, 258? Okay. You feel me? Just on click, on demand, real quick. You vibing, you getting a sound that fits you in the moment of your session. You feel me? So that's the beautiful thing about these tube microphones. They're very smoothing, very warming, very de-harshing as well. You use a microphone like that too, and it smooths off that top end so your vocals will sound a little bit less harsh. But another great microphone that I love to blend in with something like the 251 really quickly is the TLM 103. And wow, some people say the TLM 103 sounds harsh. Well, shoot, if you blending it in with a microphone like the 251, you can balance it out. You know what I mean? So I like the 103, the TLM 103, because it just gives that wild sound. You hear like this, it kind of sounds a little too wild, but like this, it kind of sounds a little bit too dull, too boring, lacking energy, monotone. But then when you just start to blend in that TLM 103, now it starts to sound a little bit more wild, a little bit more, you know what I mean? And I really love something like that. So yeah, this is just a couple of different creative ways I wanted to talk about using something like the 251, how it can actually be a steal to get something like a UAD sphere. And I'm gonna keep doing a couple more reviews on different models that I like within it, just because nobody's ever talked about it, and I do love the sphere microphone. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family, guys. If you learned something, drop it down below in the comment. Let me know what you guys learned, and how did you feel about this mic blending? Could you imagine, picking something unique that's completely unique to you, your own swag, your own sauce, your own seasoning that nobody else has? If you played around with this, do you think it would sound better than any microphone you could really buy? Because you're getting to custom tailor it to your voice? Let me know down below. Just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all now. Peace.